Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on the super new moon total eclipse that's going to be happening in Pisces. So first I'm just going to start because it's conjuncting with Chiron and talk a bit about that, and then I'm just going to go into the practical meanings and all the other meanings of the super new moon. So yeah, I just want to add here that I made a mistake on the Virgo lunar eclipse. I called it a solar eclipse, but rest assured all the information in this and all the other videos I do are accurate. It's just that I recorded that sometime in December. A lot of these I did, even with this one I'm making an edit to it. We all make mistakes, we're human, but rest assured I'm going to be doubly checking everything so nothing like that should occur again. I'm also dyslexic as well, so sometimes even when I'm sitting at the screen, if my mind thinks it's a certain word, it will just say that word even though in front of the screen it's a different word. So the person that edits these podcasts for me has a field day, editing them. But rest assured that always the information is accurate. Also want to say thank you to Jerry for subscribing to my channel as well, and just for everyone that listens to me, thank you. It really means a lot. So just keep on liking and subscribing. So yeah, I'm going to get into this. So yeah, a total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, and this blocks out the sun's light and casts a shadow on the earth. So on Monday the 8th of April, this is what is going to happen, and you guys are super lucky if you live in North America because you're going to be seeing it, whereas people like me in England, we don't really see it, but the energy is still affecting us. So yeah, the total solar eclipse will make its journey over Mexico, the United States and Canada. The eclipse will have its interception over the South Pacific Ocean as well before moving across Mexico and the United States and Canada, as I said. So yeah, a total solar eclipse creates sort of like temporary darkness. So a total solar eclipse creates a moment of, darkness as the moon subtly crosses over the sun. So yeah, so I hope I described all of that right. So let's get into the astrology now. So as I said, this total supermoon solar eclipse happens when the moon is in the 25th degree of Pisces, and it forms a conjunction with Chiron and the sun, because that's why it's a new moon. It always, at new moon, the sun and the moon are always conjunct, but Chiron's in the midst right here, and the sun and Chiron are both in the 26th degree of Pisces. So you know how I do. I'm going to go more into what this 26th degree and 25th degree means later on, but right now what I'm going to talk about is Chiron. So yeah, in astrology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer, and it represents our deepest wounds and also shows the potential for transformative healing. So Pisces is a sensitive sort of like energy and intuitive sign that's ruled by Neptune, esoterically ruled by Jupiter as well, and this amplifies Chiron's influence, and it invites us to dig deep into our subconscious realms and confront unresolved emotional pain, psychological pain, spiritual pain. And we are resistant to dealing with it because it can be scary, and sometimes it can just be easier to escape into drugs, alcohol and Netflix and chill. And Neptune energy positively can bring us these deep mystical spiritual experiences. Negatively, it can make us self-destructive, especially in our thought patterns, and this can lead to destructive behaviour patterns as well. So as I said, the alignment of the moon with Chiron represents the ability for us to grow spiritually, psychologically and emotionally, or any other sort of growth that you're working on. Pisces is very intuitive energy, empathetic energy, and it's a powerful energy to use for self-reflection and actually going over, what things from my past do I need to heal? How can I, and this energy actually helps us with attuning with our emotions so that we are better able to understand and address our past pain and trauma. But negatively, because of this intense, we've got the sun here amplifying it, we've got the moon and then Chiron in this conjunction. So the intensity of the emotions that can come up at the time of this super new moon total solar eclipse, I forgot that right, but I'm sure that I have, that can make us feel overwhelmed, and it can actually drive us into, our toxic relationships, toxic ways of being with ourselves and others, because of these deep-seated fears and unresolved issues that can come up. So it just requires careful handling. Just be gentle with yourself, indulge in self-care, but I'm going to talk more about that as this goes on. So positively, again, Chiron in Pisces really helps us with our spiritual healing abilities, giving us the power to confront our deep secrets and emotional wounds, because the 12th house, which Pisces is in, rules the things that we keep hidden from ourselves and undoing. So external events and people may bring to our attention things that we need to change. It may not necessarily come from within. For some of you, it will come from your own internal thought processes. It can make us more creative, feeling more inspirational. So, art, drawing, dancing, screaming, even if it's badly, I sing badly, but I don't care, So looking at creative ways to deal with your problems that come up right now. Negatively, as I said, because Chiron in Pisces can make us feel vulnerable, it can lead us to escaping, idolise people and situations, so ignoring red flags and just really dragging up that emotional turmoil. So the best use of this energy, of course, is to embrace being vulnerable, practice self-compassion, explore yourself through meditation, art therapy or journaling or any other healing technique that works for you to help you process your emotions and promote your own holistic personal growth. Spiritually, this energy encourages us to seek meaning beyond the material realm and explore the mysteries of existence. It wants us to connect with our intuition and find inner peace. And I'm from the perspective, I try and make this as holistic, because I know that when you're stuck in the in things like depression or any other mental illness, and I've been there, it blocks your intuition, and there can be so many other voices and thoughts of past things that your neighbours, your friends, your siblings, ex-lovers may have said, and this can get in the way of your intuition, so we can't always trust it. But this energy really wants us to do the work to start or continue to forgive our past, to accept it, to just realise the interconnectedness of all things and experiences on the deeper level, and just take the time to reduce our fears so we can hear that still small voice that can lead us to our ultimate, I don't want to say pleasure, but best life, ultimate balance. So psychologically, it can bring to light subconscious patterns, as I said, and wounds that influence our behaviour and relationships, and often consciously we'll say, oh, I'm a good person, or oh, I'm an active listener, oh, I'm loving and that. But because of our unhealed subconscious thoughts and traumas, sometimes we have these automatic responses that can mess with our conscious ideal of who we think that we are as well. So this energy psychologically can unveil hidden aspects of our psyche that allows for us to grow in self-awareness, self-love, self-forgiveness, and self-management, which is really important to live a balanced life. Creatively, Chiron's influence here encourages, as I said, creativity through emotional expression. It wants us to tap into the collective consciousness for inspiration and insight, thinking about what things as a collective humanity that we need to heal, and we are very decisive. We all think that whatever music we like, whatever culture we're into, whatever beliefs we are, other people should think that way, and this is why we're divisive. But this energy wants us to sort of like realise that people are allowed to think differently and be different, and accept that, and also accept the differences within yourself, and finding creative ways that speak to you to help you understand your sorrow, to just be more kind to yourself and others, especially about your emotional and spiritual and psychological issues, just having more compassion and gentleness with yourself. Symbolically, it calls for us to just be honest, really honest with ourselves and our emotions, and to move forward. So yeah, the key word of this total supermoon solar eclipse in Pisces is confrontation. Confronting yourself about your own bullshit and having courage and openness to look for techniques that can help you transform your emotional, psychological and spiritual blockages by being like creative with it, by nurturing yourself and others in safe and healthy ways that can help you grow on all levels. So now I'm going to just talk more about the super new moon in Pisces, go in depth as I do. From now on in this audio, I'm just going to refer to this as the super new moon in Pisces, but it is encompassing the total solar eclipse as well. So yeah, okay, so the April super new moon happens in Pisces, is associated with spiritual depth, intuition and emotional sensitivity. Practically, this super new moon encourages us to focus on introspection, creativity and connecting with our inner selves. It's a time for setting intentions, relating to healing and compassion and letting go of old patterns that no longer serve us. Politically, this super new moon in Pisces may bring light to issues related to deception, hidden agendas and the need for transparency in leadership. It can signal a time of uncovering truths and holding those in power accountable for their actions. From a worldly materialistic perspective, the energy of the super new moon in Pisces can prompt us to reassess our priorities and values. It invites us to dig into matters beyond the material realm and explore the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. On the mundane, worldly, day-to-day level, collectively, this energy of the super new moon in the 25th degree of Pisces can be used as a period of spiritual cleansing and purification. It can push us to release any emotional baggage or negative energies that weigh us down and pave the way for personal growth and transformation. Socially, the influence of the super new moon can inspire a sense of unity and compassion within communities, encouraging us to support one another and work towards common goals. It can highlight the importance of having empathy, kindness and understanding in growing stronger social connections and promoting harmony amongst the various sort of like groups of people. So it's good for sorting out arguments as well, or just getting to know people in your community at work on a deeper level as well. From a spiritual esoteric perspective, as I said, the Saban symbol, so the symbology, the esoteric meaning that's associated with the super new moon in Pisces is the purging of a priesthood, or even if you want to look at it as a goddesshood or whatever, just purging of traditions and sort of having this authority, sort of like one conforming to society's beliefs. So it wants us to suggest a metaphorical or literal setting of outdated beliefs or dogmas, or that no longer resonate with your spiritual evolution as well. So it invites us to examine our relationship with authority, with traditions, with culture, both externally and embrace a more authentic connection to the divine and the universe, whatever that means for us, rather than saying, this is what this book or this is what this person says, God, Jesus or whoever, a divine power to show up in our lives, and seeking your own path, not throwing tradition out completely, but also just being open to newness, because sometimes how we think something can happen, whether it could be having a new lover in our life or getting that job, or seeing how coming to believe in a higher power, how we think that should happen can lock us into a box, and we can miss what needs to happen and for us to believe, for us to grow. So yeah, as we navigate through the energies of the super new moon in Pisces, we should make use of this opportunity for healing and renewal, self-reflection and all levels of our being, so emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, karmically and physically. The best use of this energy is to use it to illuminate the shadows within you and society and your family, and bring a brighter future forward for yourself by starting or continuing the work of personal healing, and just having more truth and compassion and unity within yourself and for others as well. So now I'm just going to talk about how the following aspects positively and negatively affect the super new moon in Pisces and the best use of these aspects. So first of all, we've got the sun and moon making a conjunction with Mercury. So this can help us have more intellectual kind of clarity, just be more clear-minded and take more decisive actions, and also can increase our communication skills. So good for, writing that letter, trying to say those words, or doing anything else related to communication that you've been putting off. It allows us to express our thoughts more effectively. Just need to watch out for information overload, so doing too much research, gossiping too much, taking in too much. This can lead to scattered thinking and action as well. So just make sure seek out information, gather ideas, but know when to stop to avoid burnout as well. The moon and the sun making a semi-sextile to Jupiter allows us to have that boost of optimism, growth and good fortune. And the super new moon just means that the moon is closer to the earth, so it's a more stronger energy. It looks bigger in the sky right now, so with the semi-sextile to Jupiter, we can just have this birth as I'm going to go for it, and this is really good. Go for it, but don't be too overconfident, don't exaggerate your abilities, don't take on too much, and also don't ignore important details, but all in all, be open and tap into this energy and help it to bring abundance and a sense of expansion, adventure and success into your life. Okay, so the next aspect that is influencing this total solar super new moon eclipse in Pisces is the sun and the moon making a semi-sextile to Uranus. So in astrology, Uranus sort of represents innovation and change, the sun the conscious self, the moon is more about the unconscious, the emotional self. So when the sun and the moon makes a semi-sextile to Uranus, this allows us to have those insights I was talking about earlier, to be more innovative in our solution finding and have innovative ideas. We can feel more of an independence, wanting to be free from our, not only toxic relationships, but our toxic and self-destructive behaviours, as I said in the intro. It brings a big desire for change, it encourages us to think outside the box and embrace our individuality. It wants us to be more adaptable and flexible in dealing with unexpected situations, but negatively can make us and add to the impulsivity, unpredictability and restlessness, just wanting us to escape. Neptune energy, as I said in the intro, wants us to escape on the negative end into toxic behaviours as well. So this Uranus energy amplifying that can make some of you, especially those with a lot of 10th, even 11th house energy in your chart, even 5th house energy in your chart, a lot of Uranus energy in your chart, Saturn energy, because Saturn, Uranus co-rules that 10th house as well on the esoteric level, and I follow that tradition. So just be careful, watch out for the unexpected situations that this energy can bring, rebelliousness, abrupt behaviour, people just saying things to wind you up, people just wanting to just have confrontation as well. And I said in the intro, we need to confront ourselves during this new moon total solar eclipse, but we also need to bring stability. And on the positive, Uranus can help us bring that stability by making us restless, pushing us out of our comfort zone and getting rid of anything that gets in the way of our inner stability. So the best use of this energy is to come up with unconventional, non-conforming solutions to your problem. Be innovative, be creative, explore your individuality. From a spiritual angle, it wants us and supports us in breaking free of those limiting behaviour patterns. It symbolises a time of spiritual growth and evolution, which, as I've said on and on, because sometimes we hear things, but sometimes we need it repeated, is the key phase of this, Pisces 12th house energy, letting go, moving in. We've just had the spring equinox, we're in, I follow constellational Vedic astrology, so with the sun's in Aries, so it's about, just going ahead into that new territory. Hey, there we go again. The sun's not in Aries yet. It's going in on it's going in on the 13th of April. So just prepare yourself for that. See, there we go again. But as I said, I'm going to be double checking everything all the time now. So yeah, all in all, psychologically, this Sun and the Moon semi-set star Uranus at the time of this super new moon total eclipse supports us in breaking free from anything that's holding us back. It gives us a sense of liberation and empowerment to tap into our own inner genius, and we've all got it. Even if I don't want to say, even if you're just a genius of making models out of matchsticks, but that is genius, having the patience and all of that anyway, and that is a skill. So it's applying at a 148 orb, it's really impacting this super new moon total solar eclipse as well. And on the esoteric sort of like level, it just urges us to be true to ourselves and step into our higher consciousness, our higher self, be open to hidden truths that may come through dream or through your own self-reflection, and to transcend the ego, because the ego, it really does hold us back, and we have to learn to manage it. It's not a bad thing, because sometimes we need that ego. So yeah, ultimately it allows us to expand our perception beyond conventional boundaries, and to just have a deeper understanding of not only ourselves but also the cosmos at whole. So yeah, the Moon and Sun also makes a conjunction with Chiron, so this allows us to heal, and especially it's Pisces, it's all about healing and confronting our darkness, especially our sort of like spiritual and psychological darkness and secrets we hide from ourselves, so traits of ourselves, like the way we may lie or want to be tricked and lied to, and so we ignore red flags and we keep inviting toxic relationships into our life as well. So all this super moon can illuminate our self-destruction and also provide us with the healing and growth that can sort of allow us to be vulnerable with ourselves and others, and this can lead to breakthroughs in us understanding our emotional, psychological and spiritual pain, and also providing guidance and that listening here for someone else who may be undergoing emotional, psychological distress as well. So it just allows us to sort of like just be more open and compassionate with ourselves and others. Yes, it can bring up sensitive issues, but also gives us the window and energy to heal from them. The Moon and Sun also makes a conjunction with the Moon's North Node, so this energy sort of like can be sort of like a strong karmic pull. So some of us may be like, what, because remember Pisces energy is 12th house energy, so it's all about endings as well. So we may just be like, hey, I'm going to just get rid of all my self-destructive thoughts, habits and behaviours, and obviously this won't happen overnight, but it may just be sort of like a big purging for some of you, pushing yourself into the new. And we just remember the new moon, it's about trying new things, but we don't have to do it like all on the same day or the first week. New moon energy lasts up until the next new moon, and this is the last new moon before we go into that new moon sort of like cycle of the year. We've just had the spring equinox, just in the springing ideas, so we can bring in the harvests of the autumn and the summer as well. So this energy pushes us to step into our true path and embrace opportunities to grow, and the psychological, emotional and spiritual levels as well. The combination of these aspects wants us to be in more optimism, allows us to be more mentally clear, be open to healing, and to come into alignment with the things that's going to make us live our best lives and feel happier. It also encourages us to communicate, especially when we've been putting off communication. So maybe putting off saying, I want to end this relationship, or avoiding people who may want to end relationships with you, just avoiding situations where you think, oh no, I don't want to hear this, but this energy wants us to confront them head on, and also to let go and to move into emotional newness, and just be more mindful and being open to growing on the emotional and spiritual levels. Now I'm just going to talk about a bit more about how relationships, friendships and co-worker, committed and hookup relationships are affected during this new moon. So as I said, we know that this energy is the purging of the priestess, or the purging purging of the old. That's the Sabian symbology. So in terms of family dynamics, there can be sort of like emotional purging. So we may have those conflicting, heated, negative sort of like tensions may flare up and stir up unresolved, conflicting issues on the negative end, but positively, this purging that happens helps us to be more and encourages honesty and us being vulnerable and honest in our family units, and just being open to change within them as well, and letting go of outdated beliefs and structures within them. In terms of friendship dynamics as well, it can bring the same as well. It wants us to face any challenges and underlying issues that come to the surface authentically and open up with our friends. In terms of co-worker, the emphasis is purging on old structures that no longer sort of like serve us with our co-workers. So this can be letting go of grudges, or just being open to, maybe you thought, a co-worker is horrible, I need to stay away from them because of rumours or something they've done in the past. So this energy may bring that all back up, but the higher use of this energy is to solve the issues and improve communication amongst our co-workers and those we see daily. So as I said, it wants us to let go of past grievances, be more sort of like cooperative and harmonious in our work environment, and we just have to try and be open-minded and have more compassion to navigate conflicts what come up at this time as well, and just be gentle with ourselves as well. In terms of committed relationships, again, we can transform within them. We may feel compelled to address underlying issues and patterns, as I said, and let go of relationships that no longer serve us, and this can lead to growth and renewal. And sometimes we're scared of the unknown, comfort zones, comfort relationships, being with them 5-10 years, it can be hard to let go, and this is where we stay and we can make it sort of miserable because we're trying to keep something together. And if we see relationships of things that can offer us growth and that we're meant to grow through, and sometimes they do last for a lifetime, but a lot of the time they are just meant to last for a season. But sometimes we get caught on, well, if I let go of this thing that's meant to last for a season, will I get something that lasts for a lifetime? And we're scared that we don't, so we hang on to these things and people and situations that are only meant to be temporary, and they become our lifestyles, and then we begin to believe and that we can never be happy if we leave, and no one will want us, and we're too old, and all of that creeps in the fears. So this energy wants us to have empathy and respect, and it can also, some of you may not just decide to leave the relationship, you may just decide to be like, I want to change the relationship dynamic, and whatever happens now, this can really deepen our spiritual and emotional connections within our relationship, and just make you feel more together and have more sort of like support for each other if you have these heartfelt conversations and express your needs openly, because sometimes we can be afraid to ask for the things that we want from a relationship. We're scared of a person won't give us them, or we could lose them, and this can just add to the tension. So this energy just wants us to be super honest with each other, hence it's the super moon, and this can bring more mutual trust and intimacy into our relationships as well. In terms of hookups, again, this energy may lead some of you to let go of some hookups, as you may have a desire for more deeper, committed relationship as well. It's a time when boundaries can become clearer and honesty and communication becomes crucial to ensure that everyone's on the same page as well, and just allow yourself to give into that craving for being more authentic and just being more emotionally connected with others as well, but also try not to lie and be deceptive, because Pisces energy can make us escape into drugs and alcohol and hookups and stuff, and this can just add to the toxicity, negativity, and also blur the lines around consent and stuff. So just make sure you gain consent, respect other people's boundaries, but also be open to letting go of hookups and being more vulnerable within them as well. On the karmic level, this new moon wants us to release past traumas and karmic ties related to our spiritual journey or connected to institutions that have served as authorities in our lives. So this can be our partners, our family, even our children or friends or anyone else we've given our power away to or believe we have more power over us, and just questioning why that is. It's a time where deep transformation and purification on the spiritual soul level can happen if you are open to it, if you're open to being honest and just thinking about what outdated beliefs of mine or things I've become to believe in as truth are holding me back now. So, issues revolving around power dynamics, hierarchy, and spiritual religious teachings we have come to believe in, or other kind of ideologies or practices that no longer resonate with our true selves. Because as I'm going to use a spiritual journey, we may come into the spiritual life and it may be through, tarot cards or using crystals or using angel cards or anything else, and angel numbers and stuff, and all these things are good. Numerology, astrology, even this is a tool. Some of us are more receptive to psychological healing, some of us more to astrological and spiritual. So these are all tools, but ultimately they are tools that help us to get in touch with the higher truth, which can't be sort of like known through books or other people, but must be felt for our own human connection. So this is why I don't believe we can change others. I've tried in my life, but this is what we're all programmed to do, to think we can just change others, even if it's not by telling them what to do, by being ourselves, holding space for them, showing them love, and just thinking our love and belief in them can make them believe in themselves. But ultimately each of us have to come to believe in ourselves, and of course friends and families and lovers can help us along the way, provide that sort of like support. But ultimately the end goal of that is not to create dependency and codependency, what a lot of us fall into. It's about growing, also making that person strong enough to believe within themselves so they can do it without us. And that's the test of growth. Does growth happen, continue when no one's about, when no one's in your life, when you are alone and stuff? And this is not to shame, guilt or blame, but just to point the finger towards the truth of adulthood and personal evolution. So the super new moon in Pisces can bring karmic lessons associated with forgiveness, healing and breaking free from constraints, whether that be toxic thought, behavioural, culture or other external influences that keep you stagnated in your past and repeating toxicity in your life, and that keeps you from being living your highest potential. So also sort of like lifetimes where you may have positions of authority or underwent kind of spiritual experiences may come back to your memory in terms of dreams or even nightmares, or just by experiences on the subconscious level. You may not understand why events that happen are happening, but these are whatever comes up over the next few weeks is trying to show you the sort of things you need to let go of. And because this 25th degree of Pisces rules the less distal to fibular joint, it reminds us of the importance of seeking stability and grounding in our life, especially through this intense spiritual purging that the super new moon in Pisces offers as well. So, doing yoga, meditation or anything else that makes you feel grounded, dancing, singing, screaming, whatever, looking after your joint health can be really good, for whether it be stretching and once again Tai Chi and yoga can help with your stretching out your limbs, or even if it's just acupuncture or tapping yourself, or just rubbing your joints and limbs and stretching them and just being gentle with your body, give yourself hugs and that. And it may sound silly, because hugs are something we're meant to get from other people, but we can love on ourselves. So yeah, also at the time of this super new moon, we have a 3-point stellium that happens between the moon, sun and Chiron, and it's really tight, orb of 56%, so it's really affecting us. So a stellium is when 3 or more planets or points in astrology are in the same zodiac sign or house as well, and this intensifies the energies of deep healing and transformation in this case. So the combined energies of the sun, the moon and Chiron aids that kind of us being more sensitive, more creative, and also our efforts to grow on the inner levels as well, and just become more self-aware as well of our own moods and other people's moods in our environment and surroundings as well. So the influence of the moon in this stellium allows us to be more intuitive, because the moon kind of like controls our inner world, our subconscious mind and emotional needs, and the sun will bring sort of like maybe issues with our own ego, other people's ego, or sense of identity and self-expression and vitality at this time. And it's sort of like the sun's presence in this stellium at the time of the super new moon illuminates the core essence of our individual sort of like identity and life purpose. Chiron is known as the wounded healer in astrology, and this energy brings opportunities for spiritual growth. So with an orb tightness of 56%, the intense energy can bring unresolved emotional issues to the surface. So it's really, what's that word? So it's really a strong chance that a lot of us can just be sort of emotionally triggered right now, and emotional sort of like and psychological unresolved traumas can come to our sort of like mind, and so just be kind of have compassion for that, as I said earlier. So it can trigger deep-seated emotions, but also offers us the opportunity for letting things out, getting it off our chest, and to heal from these issues as well. So in summary, with the sun, moon and Chiron working together within the stellium, it allows us to focus and acknowledge and address our spiritual, emotional and psychological wounds with compassion and understanding, and giving this to others as well if they come to us or we find ourselves in a heated situation. It allows us to find a sense of wholeness and spiritual realignment or alignment, and it wants us to trust in the process of healing and allowing ourselves to be guided by the wisdom of our emotions as we navigate the depths of our inner world, and just sort of like embrace newness, which the new moon is all about. So in terms of career, spiritual and personal development, on the career level, it can bring us or make us feel compelled, like, hey, I need to change and reassess my professional path and make the necessary adjustments that I need to do to follow our true calling. So some of you may decide to learn a new trade or switch trade or go for that promotion as well. It's energy of the super new moon is guiding us towards a more fulfilling career path and inspiring us to pursue new creative ventures. Spiritually, it is a potent opportunity to deepen our spiritual practices, connect with our intuition and explore our subconscious mind. On a personal level, the super new moon in Pisces wants us, as I said, to resolve and address those unresolved issues. It's a time for healing and letting go of our past wounds and having more empathy for ourselves as we allow ourselves to connect with ourselves and others on a more profound level. Educationally, it wants us to explore new skills, so it may be a good ideal time to engage in, learning new things on or offline that align with your passions and personal growth objectives as well. And because this lunar energy can enhance our creativity and intuition, and it can also allow us to absorb information on a deeper level more quickly as well. So sort of like speed learning as well. So just be open to, sometimes you may be like, logically I can't write this essay right now, and what you got a deadline, right? And so it may seem illogical to chill out, meditate for a bit, but in that meditation or chill out time, listening to music or going for a walk, this can be a good sort of like thing for you to recharge or look at an existing problem, especially when it comes to learning something in a different way. So just try and chill out a bit as well. So yeah, in conclusion, this super new moon in Pisces wants us to let go of outdated patterns. As I said, the Sabian symbology of the person of the priesthood wants us and gives us the clear direction that this is a sense of us being able to cleanse ourselves on the spiritual, emotional, psychological levels in a profound way, and everything won't come overnight. We can achieve growth on the spiritual, psychological and emotional levels if we are willing to do the work. So it allows us to start and continue the work of self-healing. It wants us to let go of structures that no longer serve our highest goods of beliefs that could have helped us at one stage, like maybe I need to keep myself away from people for a bit, but now it may be time for you to mingle, to get back out there, to be more open, and to be open for a deeper connection to divine wisdom and your spiritual truths, and shedding of old things that you are ready or need to let go of, actually, because sometimes we're not ready to get out of our comfort zone, let's be honest. So, this kind of like pushes us to do so in a subtle way, because, Pisces energy is subtle as well. So it may not be up in your face pushes, but it's more subtle. Some of you may get dreams that push you to change and to let go of things. And then we've got the sun in the 26th degree of Pisces as well. And we've got the sun and Chiron in the 26th degree of Pisces during this powerful super new moon total eclipse in Pisces. Yeah. And the Sabian symbol for that is a new moon that divides its influences. So, it kind of puts the spotlight on that things will change, and we may not agree with other people in our lives right now. We may have to go our separate ways, and it may be hard to let go of relationships who've become so dependent on us well. It wants us to have that kind of clarity and discernment where boundaries need to be drawn in our life with that support growth and evolution from what gets in the way of our progress. So again, like I said, this is another important backup that for some of you it will be letting go. And the 26th degree of Pisces rules the planetary nerves in the human body. So this again highlights the importance of grounding ourselves in our truth and authenticity while we sort of like navigate life. So all in all, this is a catalyst for profound inner work and encouraging us to shed layers of conditioning and connect with our authentic essence. And the super new moon illuminates the shadows around power dynamics and spiritual teachings, and it provides potential opportunity for healing deep-seated wounds and transforming karmic patterns. So a lot of us have got issues with maybe the religions and cultures we're brought up in, so this energy can really make us revisit that and not throw the baby out with the bathwater, which means that a lot of time, because of the religions and cultures born in, we get to add us forget it all. But there's truth in everything, I believe. There's also lies, so it's about picking out those seeds of truth and following them, rather than saying that the whole thing and everything you've been taught was complete sort of rubbish, unless you get to that conclusion from your own introspection and research. A lot of the time we don't. We just get to that stage where we discern our culture and religions because of the pain that they inflicted. But we have to remember that sometimes it's not exactly the religion or culture, it's how the religions and culture was taught to us or forced on us, sort of things, what we need to let go of. So by delving into forgiveness and letting go of past grievances, we can pave the way for a more liberated and empowered sort of existence, one that comes from our self-empowerment rather than our rebellion that sometimes can lead us to self-destructive things. So acknowledging the impact of our past experiences and actions allows us to navigate our current life challenges with greater resilience and insight, being open to our subconscious and healing, the pain that's within there, releasing our outdated attachments. We open ourselves up to receiving the gifts of spiritual awakening and a higher consciousness, a different way of being in the world, because as I said at the beginning, a lot of us imprison ourselves into who we think we are or what and who we think others need us and want us to be even, So the symbolism of the 25th degree of Pisces reminds us that our spiritual journey is timeless and interconnected, weaving through past, present and future lifetimes as well. And by honouring their lessons of authority and transformation encoded in our souls' histories, we can navigate the currents of the super new moon in Pisces with, just more awareness. And also the guidance of the symbology that wants us to sort of ground ourselves in practices like Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, stillness, self-reflection, remind us about how these ancient sort of modalities, especially when we're talking about meditation and yoga, offer us a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, allowing us to embody the harmonious balance between our earthly presence and our sort of celestial spiritual connection. Through intentional movements and breath work, we can attune ourselves to sort of energies surrounding this potent lunar event. So take some time out to meditate, spend some time alone, and invite the healing and awareness into our beings as we align ourselves. And as we dig deep into the depths of our inner being during this period of reflection, it's crucial to remember that growth often, and it does actually require us to release old patterns and relationships and toxicity and embrace the unknown, get out of our comfort zone, and also to forgive and love ourselves as we realise we are all deeply flawed, or that you're deeply flawed, and that can be a sucker, because a lot of times we blame others, and not saying that other people ain't horrible, and I was going to say the T word, but I'm not going to use it. Rhymes with posher. But anyway, so yeah, this energy wants us to have more trust in the universe, in ourselves, to change our lives and to let go and to be open to the newness of, the many, many layers and traits that we got within ourselves, and allow ourselves to experience profound spiritual, emotional and psychological shifts that help us evolve on a personal level. So yeah. Also, I want to mention that obviously I talked about the stellium earlier, where we've got the Sun, Moon and Chiron in Pisces, but Mercury is also sort of involved in the stellium, even though it's in Aries in retrograde at the moment as well, because at the time of this super new moon, total solar eclipse, Mercury is in the 1 degree of Aries, and then the moon is in the 25th and Chiron, and the sun's in the 26th. So by orb conjunctions, 10 degrees orb range, it is conjunction at the moment, and as we know, Mercury is in retrograde in Aries as well. So I'm just going to quickly talk about how this influences this new moon as well. So yeah, with Mercury retrograde in Aries, we can have, be emotionally oversensitive because, a lot of Pisces energy is going on as well. And this can lead to confusion, disrupt communication. As I said, we can take things personally, and our decision making processes can be doubly affected because, Pisces can make us confused and illusional and want to be manipulated too, and ignore the red flags because we want to escape as well. So we just have to be careful with our words and how we take other people's words and communications, text messages, DMs and all of that, as not doing so can lead to lots of conflict. And I said at the beginning that conflict is what we need right now, confrontation, and so this is not necessarily a bad thing as well, but we also have to remember to be patient, think before we speak, and react and act to avoid unnecessary arguments, just to make sure that we double check everything. If you want to, I've got another audio on Mercury retrograde in Aries and Pisces, which it is this year, so you can go and check that out to know more about it. And just be gentle with yourself and back up important digital files, because I've already, before I was born with Mercury in retrograde, so one of my big hard drives, which I totally used to do this podcast, failed, and I'm just taking it with a pinch of salt. Most of the things I have got, some of the things I'm going to have to do again, but hey, that is life, and hopefully, I'm fingers crossed, I'm watching some videos online on this platform while you may be listening to this on another platform to hopefully fix that hard drive. So it's just about, if something important goes, important files, don't, because sometimes I can be like, oh, the world's gone to crap, I can't do anything. Don't be like that. Just try and take steps to, get everything back, do it again, start again, and you never know, you may think, oh, but I've already done all the work, and why do I have to start again? But sometimes starting again can give you good insights, and remember that this is my motto, everything can be fixed. That's my motto for 2024, everything can be fixed. So let go, as this super new moon total eclipse wants us to do, and weigh up all your options and consequences before making any decisions. Allow yourself to tap into the empathetic nature of Neptune and Pisces. Open up your heart, practice empathy, especially with yourself. Self-forgiveness is key. Yes, we can escape, Netflix and chill, or the other distractions into, our voices, whether it's food, alcohol, drugs. But this energy really wants us to confront ourselves, to reflect, and to become more aligned with our authentic self. So yeah, what we need to do is just avoid, the emotional instability, and not avoid it as in, but just be aware of it and just try to do things to make you emotional, psychologically and spiritual stable. Yeah, That's what I was trying to say. And just watch out for scattered thinking, because Mercury's in retrograde as well, and that's influencing. And just be gentle with yourself and be loving, and just, try and take one step at a time, because a lot of the time, at the time of new moon, because it's the new moon, everybody wants to start things, but we can just use this time for planning, making a strategic plan of the things that we're, going to start making, maybe when the moon's in its first quarter stage. Take your time, don't rush, be open, and remember that balance is key. And also remember the energies of this solar new moon total eclipse is going to last us right up until the next solar eclipse that's going to happen on the 2nd of October 2024. So you've got plenty of time, relax. We've got the summer solstice coming as well. So you just had the spring, so it's about, letting go, newness, planning the things, setting your intentions. That's the one for the things that you want to reap in, the summer and autumn of this year as well. So yeah, that's the end of this analysis of the super new moon that happens on the 8th of April. Take care and see you next time.